Πρέπει να κάνουμε reset το ρολόι.
Test, 1, 2. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm Aris Magripis. This is George Kastanis. We're both from Point Blank. Today, we're going to present you how you can build EU-branded Drupal sites for the European Commission and the European Union with the OpenEuropa theme and the ECL library. By then, we will have a full understanding from the full stack from NPM packages to the render HTML that we will see. And we will also have a look on how we can create a sub-theme for projects. The presentation is structured in 5 sections. First, we're going to see how the ECL Europa component library is structured at the package level, and how the OE theme handles the dual branding. The European Commission and the European Union have 2 different brandings, so we need a way to switch this. How we can create the sub-theme, and how you use the ECL components correctly in Twig. And also a very interesting feature of OE theme, which are the value objects that bridge the Drupal data and the ECL templates. So, for the people who have visited the sites of the European Union or the Commission, they might be already familiar with what are we going to see. The ECL has a great value because it keeps hundreds of institutional websites consistent in look and feel. It's something similar to the Google material or the ones you know, the governments of UK design systems. And it covers everything from design tokens to full page level components. And for us, what is very important is that it ships with Twig templates that integrates directly with the Drupal rendering engine. Here we have a quick look of the ECL library. It has what's new. It's a design system, a full design system from typography, colors, how to use things, what to do, what not to do, best practices, iconography. I mean, it's a full set of things. And it has also a storybook available, so for the front-end developers, it's familiar enough. Okay, so let's start with the ECL architecture. To start with, ECL is a family of NPM packages under the scope of ECL. First are the theme EC, the theme EC and the theme EU, which are the design tokens for each brand. Then you have the presets, which are bundled CSS, JavaScript, and asset. It's everything bundled there that you can use it straight to your project. You have the component, the packages of the component level. Each component have an NPM and have its own package and have a development track of its own. And then, of course, you have utilities and mixins, and there is the builder that binds all these things up and creates the bundle assets. And, of course, you have the twig templates. So how do the layers this connect? It starts from the design tokens. Visually, we can see here that you have the components, the presets, the builder, and the distributable assets. The templates live in the NPM, and somehow they need to reach Drupal. This is where the ECL twig loader comes, which is the bridge that resolves the short ECL component names to file paths on the disk. We're going to have a deeper look on this later on. And once you have all this on the OpenEuropa theme, of course, you can create your sub-theme and adapt it to the needs of the project you have. So the ECL twig loader, it helps you, it allows you to, on a twig template, to call directly the component with the include, for example. You can say .ecl banner, and this resolves to the real HTML.twig template. And this pattern is the same for all the components. It's a simple idea, but it keeps you all the twig code very clean. So you have the component library loader. It's on a module of OE theme, the OE theme helper module, that registers the twig loader under Drupal's own template discovery. So Drupal's template discovery runs first. Then it looks inside themes component directory for the templates and expects file names prefixed with ECL or ECL twig. And the templates get in the theme with a grant file that copies all these files from the node modules into a component directory that lives in the theme, and they are prefixed with the ECL. This happens at build time, so it's once and it ships ready. Okay, so this was, in short terms, I mean, the architecture. Let's see how it handles the branding. ECL has these two building blocks, let's say, and also EU has two distinct visual identities, and OTheme serves both the brand and the identities in a single code base. So George will explain us how this works.
Thank you, Aris. So the dual branding system has two independent dimensions. The dimension one is the visual identity, EC or EU. The dimension two is the branding level, core and standardized. The core is cross-institutional sites, simple header and footer. The standardized adds site name banner in the header and the call to action from the link. Two dimensions combined into four configuration, all shared from one theme. Here we see two different dimensions, the EC and EU, different colors, different typography. So it all starts with two select fields in the theme settings form. The component library is the master switch that determines which CSS.js load, which icon sprites, which logo, and even which fav icon. The branding controls the page structure via template suggestions. So, with these two simple dropdowns in the admin UI, you set the desired combination. The global preprocess hook. Here is where the magic happens. It runs in every single template render injects brand codecs via twig variables. The most important variable is the ECL icon path, because almost every ECL component needs it for the SVG sprite icons. The ECL component library lets templates adjust rendering per brand. Icon sizes differ between EC and EU. These three variables are the connective tissue of the entire branding system. The OE theme uses the twig template inheritance to handle core via standard page structure. A hook adds a template suggestion based on the branding setting. The standardized template extends page HTML twig, and it only overrides what's different, the header and the navigation. This keeps things dry, and the main layout is defined once, and the rest builds on it. If you've used twig extents, this will feel familiar. The library system is more straightforward. Two entire separate Drupal libraries, one for EC and one for EU. Each branch has its presets. A library for alter hook dynamically attaches the correct one based on the component library theme setting. Assets in these libraries are the output of the ECL builder Aris discussed earlier. So, the single most important rule when working with ECL in Drupal. Every include of the ECL component must use the only keyword. Without only, twig passes Drupal's entire variable scope into each ECL template. The ECL templates have variables like title, description, link. So does Drupal, but they mean different things. Drupal's title render array collides with ECL's title string parameter. So the result is silently rendering bugs that are extremely hard to diagnose. With only, we just pass the variables that are available inside the ECL template. So then we have clean, predictable output and no collisions. Once you internalize the pattern, working with ECL becomes mechanical. 4 rules. Use the ECL namespace, pass only the variables the component expects, always include ECL icon path, because most components need it for icons. Always end with only. The challenge then is knowing the data shape each component expects. So you need to read the twig file, header, and which is in the ECL source of the template, or check the ECL docs. This is a re-example from OE theme. It demonstrates several patterns at once. The brand-aware rendering at the top. The icon size difference between EC and EU. Set conditionally using the ECL component library. And then we see the data transformation. Drupal's file data reshaped into the nested structure ECL expects. Icon, download link, and metadata all in specific positions. And then we have a nested icons path. It sits inside download icon path, not at the top level, because the download component needs also to have its path, the ECL icon path. We need to check always the components template to know the exact shape, so as to pass the correct variables. So, yeah, ECL icons. Let's demystify this. ECL uses an SVG sprite sheet. The icon template builds an SVG use element that references a specific icon by fragment identifier hash plus the icon name. If the path is wrong or missing, you get an empty SVG element. No error, no warning. You just get a blank space where your icon should be. This is one of the most common gotchas for newcomers. So we have covered what ECL templates expect, But where does that data come from? Drupal gives you field items, render arrays, entity reference. ECL wants simple associated arrays. You need a transformation layer, and OE theme has an elegant, a really clever solution. Value objects for data transformation. So on the left, we see what Drupal gives you. Image item, datetime item, file interface objects. You could do all this transformation inline the pre-process hooks, but it gets messy fast. How many of you have pre-process hooks over 100 lines of array manipulation? We have all been there. Yeah, value objects are the way out. So value objects are immutable type data holders. Each class can build itself from a Drupal field via factory methods. Output exactly what ECL needs by the getArray function. So why not just use arrays? Inputs are validated, cache metadata is preserved, so updates work correctly. Tweak can read them like arrays, image.src, and so on. They are read-only, and so we don't have accidental changes. So the full flow now. So in the pre-process hook, we call the factory with a Drupal field item and an image style name. We get back a value object ready for tweak, and the cache metadata is automatically attached. In the template, access properties with dot notation, image.src, image.alt, just like an array. Under the hood, array access handles the translation. Flow diagram at the bottom. We have the Drupal editing via the factory method to get a value object that turns out to a tweak and goes to a ECL component. A clean pipeline and no messy array building in between. Here we see how it extends the value object base and overrides the from array to array functions, the implements. Sorry. So our theme does a lot of heavy lifting, but it is a contributed-based theme, so you don't get to touch it directly. All your project-specific customizations go in a sub-theme. And Aris will walk us through creating one, step by step.
Right, George. So let's see how you can create the sub-theme. I mean, it's one way to handle customization in OE theme and the OpenEuropa project, but it's the one that we have chosen to demonstrate. OpenEuropa has also different ways to make customization. It has also a lot of custom modules and a full ecosystem of module, of paragraphs, of content types. So that means, and they do also the integration in this level, in the module level. For the majority of the projects, when we go, at least us, when we have wanted custom solutions or create, because these needs come when you need custom content, custom entities, custom data structures that OpenEuropa does not provide you or is unique to a project. So what you need to do is create either a content type, a paragraph type, whatever you need. And the easiest way is to integrate it with an existing component that ECL provides you. As you know, when you have a design system, the best practice is not to touch it at all. Try to use as much as possible the given artifacts that the design system already provides you. And that's the case also with OpenEuropa. There are minimum cases that we had the need to create new components that does not exist in the ECL design system. The majority of the cases were just data structures that the client needed, and then you needed to map it, to integrate it with a component that fits visually for the user to understand and read the data. So we mostly always choose for just a sub-theme. As you will see, it's a very minimal setup. You have everything from the OpenEuropa theme. So you only need actually like these files, the definition file of the theme, which is the info.yaml file. You need the preprocess for some basic data manipulation. Okay, screenshot file. And then directly you can use your templates and make the integration happen there with ECL. All the rest is inherited from the OE theme, which is a very, 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 very nice and good thing for the maintenance of the project, because first of all, there is no need to, the upgrade path and the maintenance path is very, very streamlined. It's the OpenEuropa themes and projects and modules are under Composer, so the upgrade path is very, very smooth. And if there is a breaking change, or if something is more than small enhancements, then the OpenEuropa colleagues there just, they give you the path to the upgrade path. So if something breaks in the banner component from version 4 to version 5, you have the corresponding information, you know, you need to change this and that thing. So the maintenance cost, again, I'm returning to this part, which is the most important, has a minimum cost if you follow the upgrade process and you are one-to-one with a version of the ECL. So the theme definition file, just basic Drupal stuff, standard. You set only the base theme to be the OE theme, and the regions, of course, need to be mapped to one, need to be exactly the same as OpenEuropa's theme. Now, for the demonstration of here in Dev Days, we have just created a very simple content type, presentation content type with like 4 fields. We have a description field, an image field, some labels, and a primary metadata. It is a content type. Now, how exactly can you make the integration happen? As George previously described, there are the fields that are more complex for Drupal, like the files, dates, images. Gallery also have the ECL that provides you the value objects. You have the image value object, the date value object, the file, and the gallery. I think these are the 4 that provides you with. So what you do is that, okay, I have a custom image field, the presentation image, so I'm going to use this method. I'm going to use the value object to transform the data and map it in my template directly. So there is no need to create more complex preprocesses. And of course, if you have this file used, this field used again and again, there is no need for extra preprocessing. You just get these things, and you're ready to go. This is a full, let's say, not full, a partial part of the presentation node template. ECL Europa also handles a lot of data feeding in the template, but not the manipulation of the data that much. So in the end, you get in line 35, which you include either with the include. It also provides you some patterns that you can use for those who are also familiar with the UI patterns, and you feed your component, and then the result is like it's like this. I mean, you have it all maps one-to-one, and you're ready to go. That's a very simple thing, but it really solves all the problems. So, we're going to close in this point. Let's see the full stack from the beginning. As we said, the ECL starts from NPM packages, and it has the compiler, the builder, which is where the developer's work of ECL happens, and then it comes streamlined to you. You have the twig loader that bridges the references and the namespacing, and the OE theme, which is the full set, and then the sub-theme, the components, and the value objects that we show. This is mostly it. There are also more advanced and more extra things that you can do with ECL. With George, we took the decision not to demonstrate everything, as it was and is a bit of heavy code after the lunch break, so I think we can keep it here. But you can also, some advanced things that you can do is that you can also, on the sub-theme you have, if you want to get ahead of the OpenEuropa theme upgrade path, for example, that it does not always use the latest ECL version. There are like different paths. ECL library also is used from Angular on APIs and other stuff. So it is like it spawns to a lot of things. So OpenEuropa tries to always, of course, be there. But in case you need, let's say, the card component that has a fix on ECL and not on OpenEuropa, okay, you can get the package on your custom sub-theme, upgrade it via NPM, and you can have only the bits that you need to change. But on the most cases where you don't need to touch anything, you just follow OpenEuropa theme and minimum sub-theming. Sorry? Yeah, it's I forgot the resources. We have the repo. It's under OpenEuropa in GitHub. You can find there the documentation of all the OpenEuropa projects and all the projects there. As we said in the beginning, it's a full ecosystem of anything from media, social, SEO, content types, custom functionalities, search APIs. I mean, it's another, let's say, small community that expands in Drupal in a parallel way. And you can find some useful links. The most important for us was that yesterday we met Monica, I don't know if she's here, that introduced us in a communication channel that the European Union Commission has, and we weren't aware of. So it was very interesting to know it yesterday, actually, one day before the presentation. So it's a Drupal community of practice. This is the link. It's a site where the goal is to have summarized all the best practices and how each team handles European Union and Commission project. And also there is a communication channel in Teams which has also weekly meetings, and it has also a developer meeting weekly that developers ask questions to other developers, you know, how one, I have implemented the website like this, I have this problem, how one can solve it, how did you solve it? So this was very useful, and in the last 6-7 years that we're into OpenEuropa themes, it was a real need to have these communication channels. And yeah, I think that's it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm Aris, George. We're from Point Blank. Thanks very much to the organization and the sponsors of Drupal Dev Athens. It all has been very, very great.
It's awesome.
So let's hope for and let's meet in the next one. Okay.